Kisumu journalists mark the World Press Freedom Day at Kisumu Media Hub. The chairman for the Kenya Correspondents Association in Nyanza, Kevin Omolo, hosted journalists and other stakeholders at the Lake Hub in Kisumu to celebrate the important role media has played in the society. The day's agenda was focused on climate crisis, to which the chairman went on to note that without the freedom of press, journalists would not be able to express the different challenges and problems brought about due to climate change, such as the floods that have rampaged different areas of the country. He urged that freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of press should be continued so that journalists may be able to revert information with ease to the general public.
So today we were hosting journalists and stakeholders for the celebration of World Press Freedom Day. And we have seen and understood the importance that the media plays in the society. And this day is a day to just remember how much we have been able to contribute, evaluate ourselves on areas that we need to focus on. And this sitting was supported by Article 19 and the Kenya Correspondents Association National Office, as well as Luminate Group. So the message that we are passing today is that even though the agenda of the day is about climate crisis, it is important to note that you cannot discuss climate, you cannot talk about issues climate if there is not that freedom of expression. So as journalists, we are continuing to push that we need to be to get our space out there so that this freedom of expression can enable us to talk about all the issues around climate change, all the issues around environment and how it affects the people. If you look around, there's a lot of flooding, people are dying, livestock is dead, and so much that is happening today. And some of this may have happened because of some undoing by different people. So such issues need to be pointed out so that we know for each action that you take in the environment, what is the repercussion. So we call upon all of us to continue with this by urging all the stakeholders, all the duty bearers, and everybody, so that we can have freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of the press, so that we can all discuss the issues around climate change crisis. We invited for this forum. So we had people from the county government, the experts touching on environment. At this point, climate change is already with us. So what we are looking at is resilience. So journalists are coming out, they need the knowledge, they need the skills, and they need everything that is required for them to be able to highlight some of this. And also there is that aspect of advocacy, where we have to show this is wrong, this is right, this is how it can be done. And with that, you require information. So if there is no access to information, and there is also stifled freedom of speech, then it makes it difficult for journalists to do this work. And that is why we are urging the stakeholders and the duty bearers to give that conducive environment for journalists to be able to highlight some of these environmental issues, some of these governance issues that are trickling down to impact the issues around climate change. So when advocacy is required, it means it's a campaign. When people are dying now, this is not something that started yesterday. This is an impact of something which has been happening for quite a long time. So it means we have to get back, reevaluate how we interact with our environment, how we interact with nature, so that at the tail end of it, we are looking at ensuring that we have an environment that is conducive for everybody. And everybody means both humans and non-humans, any living thing that depend on this environment. Thank you very much.
Doreen Makak, the chairperson for the Kisumu Journalists Network, urged media houses to make sure that journalists are paid so that they may continue to deliver critical information to the public.
Even as we celebrate today, journalists does not have much to celebrate about it And we are asking media houses that have not paid journalists to please try and pay them, because journalists are suffering, correspondents are suffering. So we are asking the countrywide, even the partners, even the other media houses to try and pay the journalists, because they are not stable financially. Even as even as the floods is displacing people, they're homeless. They don't have where to go. They do not have money to go and rent somewhere. So we are asking and calling upon the media houses who have not paid the journalists to try and pay them.
In closing, Arnold Odhiambo, Secretary of Kisumu Journalists Network, reflected on the work environment and encouraged all stakeholders to protect and respect the freedom of press. As it has been noted, many journalists are being blocked, even by the national government, when it comes to delivering critical information such as that relating to climate change.
Today we are convening here to reflect on our working environment as journalists. The message we want to send out there today is all the stakeholders that we deal with every day, we are kindly asking them to protect and respect the freedom of the press. We are currently operating under very difficult circumstances where even the national government is trying to block journalists from doing their work. This one should not happen. The same also applies to other stakeholders, the civil societies, the county governments, and all those we work with on a daily basis. Our plea to you is to respect the work of journalists. It is protected in the Constitution, and we need to protect that Constitution. Thank you.
Another question?
One of the things is what we're talking about, the freedom of the press. You'll find that most organizations and even the national government itself that is now handling this climate crisis, they are not open to sharing information with journalists, especially information touching on how finances in the climate sector is used and in the environmental sector are utilized by the government. So it's a key challenge. A number of media houses have made efforts to improve the coverage of environment and climate change. We have segments where we dedicate for stories on climate change and also environmental issues. So it's a learning process, but I don't think it's correct to say that journalists or the media in Kenya is not giving priority to environmental coverage. We have been doing our best amid the challenges that we've mentioned.
You are watching Media One International, always fast and fast. Like, share, and subscribe.